Hello, this is Gray Hughes. I am making a debunking video, but it's different than the other debunking videos. It's really just a factual video about this person right here that many YouTubers and people on social media claim is the funeral home director walking the halls a day prior to Kenneka being found. Well, that just isn't true. This guy is walking around on the 10th when, you know, the funeral home director is up in the upper kitchen. Okay, but this is not the funeral home director. Yes, he has a dark coat on and pants and dark shoes. Okay, so what they do is change the date up here and make it look like it was actually on the 9th. Okay, but I'm just going to show you the facts, okay? And that's what I do. I was actually asked to look into this matter, and I'm doing it, and I'm going to put this out there, and it's 100% false that that guy is the funeral home director or the older guy in the upper kitchen. I don't know if he's actually the director, but I think he does own it. I actually called him on the phone a couple times a while back to ask about you know, different aspects of what we see in the surveillance, and it matched what I was seeing. Okay, so let's just play the actual surveillance. So what I went and tracked him backwards. All right, so I'm going to show you when he starts on camera. Okay, this guy actually is in the dishwashing area. Okay, he's an employee of the hotel. He actually has a walkie-talkie in his hand at one point. All right, now I'm going to hit play and let's just watch. Okay, here he is. You can already tell that's not the funeral home director just by looking at just that. Okay, now there's two officers waiting to go through those double doors on the meeting hall west. That employee actually holds the door open for him or lets them come in first. Then he goes out. And if you actually have the external hard drive that you can purchase, you can track someone really easily. Okay, so there he is walking down the hall. And I'm just going to show you, this is just 100% facts right here. So look at the time, 4:50, it switched to 4:51, but watch when, see right there, 4:39:36, and then the motion sensor ran out, and then you'll notice that right there it went to 4:51. That's going to be the next motion. But he was picked up on this camera, you know, like 10 seconds later, continuing to walk down the hall where there's some officers down here, okay? So you'll see in a second, this just clearly is not the funeral home guy, all right? Look, I mean, look at that. When I first saw him earlier, I thought maybe he was an Asian person, and now it looks kind of like he could be Asian, maybe Hispanic, but it definitely isn't the funeral home director. All right. So I'm just going to let this play. He actually sits at that front desk, or doesn't sit there. He stands at the front desk for quite a while. But if I attempt to fast forward it at all, the skeptics out there will say, "Oh, well, what'd you do right there? Do you see how you skipped it?" No, blah, 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 blah. It just goes on and on and on. It never ends. You know, I just had another person message on YouTube claiming that I am some kind of associated with this rich family in Chicago who bought out the Rosemont, and somehow I'm covering something up. Listen, my grandfather, Harry Bennett, was a lawyer in Chicago. He died in the 80s. His son married my mom in the 70s and has lived in the Northwest since then. Okay, we have absolutely no association with that. I don't even know when this, you know, supposed hotel deal was made. What's amazing, though, are all these correlations to me when there is none. Okay, it's unbelievable. You know, it's just, you know, you have someone like Society's 2 Cents put out information and everybody believes it, but it's factually inaccurate. Okay, she has the wrong names for people, and you know, whether or not that law firm at some point did something for Rosemont, I have no idea, okay? We never got any inheritance or anything when my grandfather died, and that's just the way it is, okay? I have no association, and I just think it's disgusting when people put out stuff like that. It makes no sense. Now here comes the guy. He's walking by the camera. Look at that. Definitely not the funeral home guy. Now he takes a right and goes down the food court hallway. And I'll cut to that camera. So there he is after he took his right. Now this is the nefarious moment of the funeral home director, where now we can say he's anybody. Okay? And they also did some of these YouTubers did a clever edit where they put the girls, the friends, walking before him down in the lower level bathroom footage, which is coming up here in a little bit. Okay, so here he is. I actually got him on this camera too. So this was the first other camera I got him on, and then I just realized I could track him backwards and forwards. And there he is right there. That's when I thought maybe he was Asian. Okay, now he's walking down the hall, kind of looks over there for a moment. Looks like he might be some kind of security guy, because he does have a walkie-talkie in his hand. I think he, at this point, had put it in his back pocket. Now he walks this way. Now I wasn't sure if he took the escalator, so I did film that area. Okay, but it turns out he didn't go to the escalator. He went on the stairs, and I had a good assumption of that because, you know, he didn't go down the escalator, and here he comes down the stairs, actually, right there. Okay, now in some of these videos I've seen on YouTube, they actually have the girls running down first, then they cleverly put his edit in there, even though this is 24 hours later. Okay, so we walked that direction, and then he actually ends up going around back through the lower level west hall. Okay, and walks by the camera. You can see really clearly there again. That's not the funeral home guy. And so that's all I have him tracked to right there. Because at that point, right after you pass, this is when you might go through those double doors. But then I checked the that lower kitchen, and he didn't go in there. So that means he went into that area where the surveillance cameras aren't working. Okay, but at this point, you know, Kanika's been found, and the funeral home people are up there and getting her body ready for Teresa to view her. Okay. Now, here's the funeral home guy. Right there. Okay. Now, you see how that just isn't the same guy? Here we go. I'm going to show you. I'm not sure why I did it so slow like that, but here's the other guy. Okay, so there's this guy, and then there's this guy. Here's the funeral home guy. I mean, I don't know how much more two people could look unalike than these two people, other than the coloring of their pants and coat, than these two people right here. Okay, so I hope that clears up the misinformation being put out there, claiming that this guy right here, or, you know, to be generous to them, this guy right here is the funeral home director. All right? Just isn't the case. Okay, so until next time, I will talk to you later.